Okay, let's have a look at this B grade example. Summer socks. Let's look at the introduction. This morning I looked out of the window to see the glorious sun shining down on the fields ahead. The deep blue sky reminded me of the ocean with a bright yellow ball floating inside it. The trees, vibrant and green, lined the field with pride and seemed to be smiling. So some personification, some really nice adjectives and description here, and 5 sentences, along with the curious cats that climb their branches hunting for birds. Almost zooming in on different aspects of the setting there. The grass, which was just on the verge of needing cutting, looked like the sort of vibrant carpet that might appear in Alice in Wonderland. It's a really interesting description, a nice interesting simile, and that embedding sentence there. Opening the window, the smell of the cotton, fresh air, a really interesting description, travelled up my nostrils. So again, using those senses and filled me with a sense of promise and contentment. So, a really positive introduction with lots of lovely descriptive vocabulary. Then this simple sentence paragraph, this short paragraph to contrast. Then I remembered that I needed to go shopping. So having a really nice long description and then a really abrupt short sentence. The first problem with shopping in the summer is Market Square in Nottingham, also known as the Riviera. Every July and August, swarms of buzzing families migrate to the sandpit in their bikinis and speedos, pretending that they are in Saint-Tropez. Children scream, adults yell, and teenagers get drunk. A little bit of a list there of three, almost having a rhetorical effect. It's like watching an episode from Holidays from Hell mixed with Benidorm, using again some comparison and some humour and referring to popular culture. But people still seem to want to be there. Why is this? Are they mad? Let's just change the colour here. So it goes into the anecdote now. I remember last year when I was trying to get to a shop at the other end of the beach, using inverted commas for a bit of sarcasm. The first problem I encountered was the smells of sugar, beer and burgers, again using that sensory imagery, which filled the air and made me feel bilious as I was trying to navigate my way through the crowds. The next issue was the bar. Tentatively, so using a nice adverb at the start of the sentence, I tried to nudge my way past the sunburnt people drinking pints of beer, only to be knocked over with my bags of shopping and land on someone's not very well clad boob area. So a bit of humour there. Embarrassing doesn't even sum it up. A nice short sentence. I should have just taken more time to walk around the beach area instead of trying to walk through it. As well as the Costa del Nottingham, now let's have a look at the cohesion that's being created here. So it's got references, I think, up here to the Nottingham beach, the Riviera, and the idea that they're in Saint-Tropez. So here it links back to that idea as well as the Costa del Nottingham. It's linking back to those ideas. Nice cohesive link. It's not an obvious one. It's a little bit more subtle than just repeating something or using very similar phrasing. There's a problem of overheated, overcrowded shops. Goes into an example using a nice discourse marker. Never tried to go to shoot the week before term starts. This is because all the university and school students are frantically buying trendy shoes to go to school in. I remember last time I needed some school shoes. Uses a colon before it gives that explanation or that elaboration. I finally found a pair that might be acceptable to wear at school. The perfect balance between fashion and a strict school uniform policy. Again, embedding information, this time using some brackets. But there was no one free to serve me. When I did find someone to help, I realised there was nowhere to sit. Eventually, I squeezed in between two good-looking but sweaty football types and tried the shoes on, but inevitably they didn't fit my fat hooves. Using a bit of laughing at yourself there to create that humour, not being afraid to make humour out of yourself. I started to cry hot, sweaty tears until the sexy man moved away from me with embarrassment. The only thing that would have rescued me was a cold drink from a cafe, but of course I couldn't get one because they were all full, so I had to resort to the beach bar area instead. Again, that cohesive aspect. Beach bar, Costa del Nottingham, Saint-Tropez, Riviera, all creating that cohesion. So So the idea of shopping in Nottingham in the summer is as bad as being dragged through a hot, overcrowded train trying to find a seat. Again, using a comparison, using a little bit of your imagination there. It's utter hell, short sentence, hyperbole. I look back at the scene in front of me, and this is a really clever part here. If you just go back to the yellow. Here it's describing the scene at the start, the yellow board, the vibrant and green grass. And here I look back at the scene in front of me, the green grass, the tall trees, the sprightly cats, and all these are mentioned up here in that first paragraph. Even the cats make an appearance, the curious cats. So perhaps I didn't really need those shoes after all. So it starts with the idea that I want to go shoe shopping, ends, goes back to the anecdote. Perhaps I didn't need those shoes. And that's what gives it that lovely rounded structure. So lots of positive elements there from the introduction to the conclusion, that rounding, the anecdote that's used, the lovely description in that opening paragraph, and the short sentence paragraph there, the cohesive features of the beach kind of reappearing and being referenced throughout, and some of the lovely sensory imagery and humour in the middle of that piece.